Welcome back into episode 76. So in last week's episode you saw me doing the spilling the oil everywhere, of course, getting the fluids in, getting the distributor cap on with all the HT leads all correct now. There's a bit of confusion about how to set the distributor and the timing up, so I've got all that done. What I'm going to be doing this week is turning it over properly and seeing if it will run. As you saw at the end of the video, I have turned it over a few times, but it's still not quite there. But that's my focus this week. As ever, thank you for watching. If you're enjoying this series, please click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave me some comments. Remember there's 75 earlier videos that you could go through and watch about how I get the engine out, or how I break the engine first, then how I get the engine out, how I rebuild it, how I put it back, and all the bits around it, you know, the brakes, the fuel system, the steering rack, all of that stuff. That's sitting there all waiting for you to enjoy. But for now, let's just get into this video, see how I get on this week. Right, so just filling up, ready for this first attempt. If I can balance the petrol tank on my knee. It's just about by the looks of it. I'm not going to fill it too much, but let's get a bit in there. So exciting time. I think I'm ready to turn the key. I've done everything I can imagine. I've checked the fuel pump relay, checked that it primes. I've not primed the engine yet with fuel. I've just filled it up with some fuel, about probably 3 litres of petrol. We know the starter motor works. I know the starter motor relay works. I think we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it on a few times, let the fuel pump do its priming for 2 seconds. Probably do that 2 or 3 times. Then I'm going to leave it on. I'm going to come around and press the plate down. I think it's a mass airflow sensor plate. I think that's what it is. And just listen to the injectors here if I can see if I can hear them squirting fuel into the cylinders. And then we're going to turn it. I'm expecting it to cough and splutter a bit. Probably not run, or definitely not running. I'm not expecting that. And a lot of smoke. Hence, I've opened the back garage door. Okay, so let's prime the fuel. Fuel pump running, stopped, running and stopped. It's not running now. Now it's running. I don't know why it didn't do it there. Right, so it's done a few, about 4. Now, I'm going to try. I thought that would, I've not jumped the relay, so of course it can't anymore. Let's just try it. So I guess there's not enough fuel through yet. Now I can't get there quick enough to press the plate down. I could jump the relay and squeeze some fuel through, but this is just no fuel at the moment. All I'm doing there, I'm not expecting it to start, I'm just trying to pump some fuel through. A moth. Right, that's got pressure now. I can hear the fuel pump's changed its tone. It's now at pressure. Right, well, I'm pretty sure there is enough fuel there now. I think we'll take a plug out and have a look and just see what's going on up the front there. And I think it only fair to take the plug out that started this journey by snapping, which is this one this side. It shouldn't be too tight, so I put them in quite loose because I don't want to snap them. And I know they're going to be coming in and out while we're trying to work out what's wrong with this. Right, let's have a look. Bone dry. Okay, so at least we know it's not working because there's fuel, it's flow or anything. I checked spark last time, so I'm going to assume the spark is still okay, and that we're purely down to a fueling problem. Which basically means keep going as far as I'm concerned. So it's still not starting, so what I've done is put the engine to, I've taken all the spark plugs out, or at least loosened them, and put the engine back to top dead centre. And what I want to check now, I've put an end scope down into cylinder 1 to check that it's right at the top, and to check that the 2 valves are shut. Now I'm going to check the distributor again and check that the rotor arm is where we expect, which is lined up with contact 1. Let's have a look. It's possible, let's come around the other side, it's possible I've got that it's firing when it's on the intake stroke, I think. So just working the distributor cap off, and I can see that the rotor arm is here, which does line up. Where's the marker gone? It's there. So, okay, it's fractionally out, but it's very close. You know, we're talking, you can see my finger. It's not far enough out that I would expect. I was still expected to spark, so that is strange. And I've seen sparks for all of the spark plugs, so I know it is rotating. So the mystery continues there. Try and lean in like this. Well, after a pretty successful cranking session over the last few days, obviously no starting yet, it's now stopped cranking. I can hear the solenoid, but the starter motor's not doing anything, so it's probably jammed. So I'm going to go under and then hit it with a bit of wood and just test the voltage across it. So I think we'll do that quickly now. If not, we need to dig a little bit deeper. I'll just give it one go now, then we'll see what it does. You can hear it there, it's the solenoid just engaging but doing nothing. So let's get under there and test the voltage and give it a little tap. So now, having taken the motor apart, I've got the problem now that I've got to get the brushes back onto the thing, onto the contacts, which I can't do. So I need to desolder the, I think this is the brush plate. Take this off, take it all apart again, so take this part back out, move this out of the way, and then I can do it here on the bench. And what I intend to do is use a piece of wire, it's hard to show actually without taking it apart, but basically a piece of wire that goes across the back of the plate, and there's 4 springs, but 2 springs on one side, another piece of metal on the other side, 2 springs on that. That'll allow the brushes to come out. I can push it in and then take those these pieces of metal out that hold the springs in place. That's my plan. So first I just need to desolder this. It'll be easier to work away from the actual magnet part. Right, so this is the brush plate. Now obviously I've taken it off of the actual motor itself. And these brushes need to be all pushed back. Now they're quite stiff, so it's quite hard to push them back. What I need to do, there's my marker on the back by the way, so I got the orientation right. What I need to do is build something that can just hold these out the way, so I can slide in the internal part of the motor, and this slides, get up, slides in there. So what I need to do now is try and work out how to hold those out the way, and I need to do it from this side, the back side. And what I was thinking is a piece of metal like this, kind of bent down like that, you know, so it like that, straight across the back, and it will pull the spring, the sort of little springs open and allowing the brushes to push back a little bit. Right, so that's the type of thing I'm going to make, or have made, to go across the back of the brush plate like that. Where am I? There, sorry. Like that. Right, so apparently I can't put it in the way I wanted to, so I've had to take this back off. I've put my braces back in place, threaded them inside of the motor in this way, and now I can put it back on as I did before. Hopefully. It was a little bit of a fight last time, as you saw. I'm hoping I can just get it on a bit easier. Ooh, what was that one? What was that one springing off? Let's get that one sprung back on again. Right, so now all I need to do is just resolder these connectors back on, and we can reassemble. Now bear in mind, I've not found anything wrong yet. Nothing I could see. I was expecting the brushes to be really worn, but they look fine. Not that I know a lot about motors. Let's just add that into the mix. I probably know less about motors than I do cars. Right, the camera ran out of battery, but I've resoldered the connectors on, so seems pretty secure. Now I'm going to put the end on again. Let's get it around the right way, so the connector slides through it, like that. Right, so seems okay. Looking at the bits I've got. Now I've got the arm that lifts up. I won't pull it, but lifts up during when the solenoid activates. There's the end piece to go on here, which I can pop on now as well. While my starter motor is away being restored, or renovated, rebuilt, whatever you want to call it, what I'm going to do is, I suspect I'm not getting fuel into each of the cylinders. So I've got the endoscope on my phone. I'm going to just run the fuel pump until I hear it spraying, and then look in each of the cylinders and see if we've just got fueling. It might be that I have to do it for each cylinder to see if it's sort of, atomizing in there, but that's my theory at the moment. I'll try and record some of the cylinders so you can see. It shouldn't take too long to work through them though. Right, you won't be able to see from there. I'll record some of these, but let's get the fuel pump running, get a bit of fuel spraying in there, and see what it does. Right, so I've been through all of the cylinders, all 8 cylinders, checking to see which injector is working, and it is only cylinder 2 that's actually spraying any fuel in. So I think what I'll do is I'll take the injector off of maybe cylinder 1 and see if there's actually fuel coming out of the pipe. Then we'll take the injector out and see if there's fuel coming out of the injector. What I've got here is I've undone injector 1 quite a bit, and I'm just going to press down on the plate, and you should be able to see a lot of petrol coming out. So that proves that petrol is getting through to the certainly to the pipe, and therefore it should get through to the injector. So what I need to do is relieve that pressure and get the injector out, and then we'll just see why fuel's not coming out of it. Right, I kind of hope you can see in there because I can't. What I'm going to do is bring the fuel up again. Something enough to sort of squirt. Yeah, so that squirted really nicely. And you probably can't see, but there's certainly a really nice spray of fuel going in there. Right, it's the same test then. This is cylinder 4. There's the fuel pipe and the injector still screwed in. I'm just going to press down on the plate here, and you should, I don't know if you can see that, but I can see, there is definitely fuel coming out. Yeah, you can see it on the screen. So I know fuel is coming down the fuel pipe. Right, I'm going to call it quits there this week. We got some progress, so almost there. The starter motor's actually come back now, and the starter motor's back on the car, and if you watch my shorts as well, short videos on YouTube, you'll see that I have actually got it turning over and firing. Not a bad week, at least we're making progress. Every week I just try and keep stepping forwards. I know I'm never going to get this working in one go. So I'm quite pleased, we're inching forward slowly but steadily. But anyway, Thank you as ever for watching. Click the subscribe button, like button, leave me comments, tell me what I've forgotten to do and what I should be doing next. Tell me how to tune this engine would be very good actually. But anyway, I'll leave it there and I'll see you next week.